Welcome to an overview of economics modeling, brought to you by the CGIAR, Foresight and Metrics Initiative. The Foresight and Metrics program aims to enhance the modeling capacity of not simply the participants who undertake the courses, but of the institutions from which they come. From an institutional perspective, it is important to build a solid institutional modeling framework. By training all three types of model users in an institution, you create a solid capacity for understanding model results. Our informed riders, analysts that can run and interpret models, our drivers, and model specialists that can develop and adapt models, our mechanics. A cohesive training program, like the one we will outline next, sets a framework for good institutional modeling practices. It leads to consistency in model use across the institution with the hope to sustain the institution's capacity over time. There are three types of economic model users. First, senior policy managers need to know the policy relevance of the analysis and understand enough to evaluate reports that use these economic models. We can think of them as our informed riders. They hail the taxi and need to make sure that the driver is going in the right direction. The second group of economic model users are our drivers. Regular policy analysts, who are frequently asked to interpret and report on results to their management, and may need to run existing models, using a standard setup. They can, in addition to being an informed driver, drive the car themselves. In other words, they know what the controls do and how to operate them. Our third and final group of economic model users are our mechanics. Modeling specialists, who adapt and develop the model. They can, in addition to being an informed rider and an active driver, go underneath the bonnet and tune the engine. It rarely happens that a CGE model is built from scratch. From an institutional perspective, it is important to build a solid institutional modeling framework. By training all three model users in an institution, you create a solid capacity for understanding model results. Our informed riders, analysts that can run and interpret models, our drivers, and model specialists that can develop and adapt models, our mechanics. A cohesive training, like the one we will present next, sets a framework for good modeling practices and consistency in model use across the institution that can be sustained over time. Whereas if you train a single individual, the knowledge capacity is limited and may or may not be retained. In the next section, Oliver will discuss the contents of the online course.
In the following section, we will discuss an online course on economic modeling. We will discuss how the course is set up to address the needs of the three different groups of economic model users. On behalf of the CGIAR Foresight and Metrics Initiative, an online economic course is currently being developed. The target audience for this course is ministry workers and policy analysts, networks and research institutes, and university students at the master's and doctorate levels. The first module on model basics is targeted at all three levels mentioned earlier, meaning senior policy managers, aspiring regular policy analysts, as well as potential modeling specialists. This module is designed as an 8-week, instructor-led, asynchronous, online course with required interaction and multiple live webinars. In this first module, you will learn about the macro and micro economic relationships in partial equilibrium, multi-market models, followed by general equilibrium models, through the exploration of a social accounting matrix, or a SAM. You will also gain an understanding of the requirements for, and sources of, economic and biophysical databases. You will explore a demo model to learn about the elements of an economic model, and perform a variety of hands-on exercises. After Module 1, we offer two pathways. One pathway will focus on multi-market models. The second pathway will focus on CGE models. These modules are targeted to aspiring regular policy analysts, as well as potential modeling specialists. The first multi-market module provides an in-depth study of a partial equilibrium, multi-market model. This includes the economic theory that underlies supply and demand behavior, data inputs and key parameters, and skill development in the critical assessment of multi-market model results. There will be hands-on exercises with a simplified multi-market model. Participants completing this module will have the ability to run a multi-market model and understand and explain the economic behavior that drives experiment results. The second multi-market module provides training in developing analysis using a simple country-level multi-market model in the GAMS modeling platform. This module is targeted at potential modeling specialists. Participants completing this module will build applied skills in defining experiments, evaluating data and parameters, and explaining, critiquing and effectively communicating results. The first module in the CGE learning pathway is CGE Model Setup. This module provides an in-depth study of a computable general equilibrium model, including the economic theory that underlies supply and demand behavior, data inputs and key parameters, skill development in the critical assessment of GGE model results. There will be hands-on exercises with an Excel interfaced CGE model. Participants will complete this module with the ability to run a CGE model and understand and explain the economic behavior that drives experiment results. The second CGE module provides training in developing analysis using a static, single-country CGE model in the GAMS modeling platform. Participants completing this module will build applied skills in defining experiments, evaluating data and parameters, and explaining, critiquing and effectively communicating results. After modules 3A and B, we will bring the cohorts from both learning tracks back together for a virtual conference on economic models. We will review lessons learned, listen to student project presentations, and discuss next steps and future work. Potential future modules to the course may include advanced training in multipliers, the impact model, RIAPA model, building a SAM, and GAMS advanced programming. These advanced courses will be determined based on participant needs discussed throughout the course. For more information on the online course, please contact TBD. We thank you for your time and interest in learning more about economic models. Here are a few references for further learning.